Welcome to Jacksonville. What a scene, what a day. It is hot. I mean, it is scorching hot here in Jacksonville for the AFC Championship game rematch. Hello, friends. Jim Nantz along with Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson. There's a lot of intensity and excitement in the air as this one's about to get started.
I'm excited. We got the rematch of the AFC title game, and they're both really good again.
I say it's hot. Let's start there. 107 index. The temperature is 97. It's the hottest game in the league in 15 years since Green Bay played at Arizona back in 2003, and we're underway with the Patriots set up for a touchback, sailing well over the head of Cordero Patterson, and away we go. We'll start with Tracy Wolfson.
Well, thanks a lot, Jim. Some injury updates. Running back Leonard Fournette tested that hamstring earlier today. It was not 100%. Doug Marrone telling us not worth the risk. Defensive end Calais Campbell woke up with soreness in his knee. He is active. He will not be limited. As for New England, the running backs, Rex Burkhead and the rookie Sony Michel will play today, Jim.
So Fournette, they had waited all week. They were hoping. He's out. Burkhead, who was in concussion protocol, he's in. He split wide to the left. And Michel, the first-round rookie pick out of Georgia, is up and going as Gronkowski catches it on the first play with Miles Jack on the coverage and a gain of 9. Brady back 238 days ago. Threw 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, both to Amendola, as the Patriots came back from 10 down in the final period to advance to the Super Bowl. And the Jaguars have been waiting for the rematch since the schedule came out. They knew they were going to be playing New England based on their order of finish in each division last year, but they didn't know it'd be this early. The home opener for the Jags, 2nd and 1 for New England. Burkhead changes directions and he scoots across the 35 for the first down. What are you looking for schematically today as we see the lineups here for New England without, by the way, Marcus Cannon at right tackle? Waddle up for him.
Well, the most important thing will be their ability to adjust the protections as this game moves on. Nobody does a better job than New England of taking away your strength up front and blocking that guy consistently. Today, they got to make sure they block Ngakoue. He's been a force last week, and he's going to be today against these tackles if they don't have a plan.
And Burkhead gets another handle, and he is smashed after a short gain. We're going to be welcoming audiences here in the next few minutes, and Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson, Gene Steratore back in the studio if we need any rules interpretations. Welcome to Jacksonville in this AFC Championship rematch. Some of you just joining us, the Patriots have already picked up a first down here in the opening series of the game. It's 97 degrees here in Jacksonville. It's the hottest game Tom Brady has ever played in his professional career. He's going to throw it. And he's got Hollister, the backup tight end, turns around and grabs it. He was left alone. And Boye finally knocks him down, but a big gain of 23.
Brady wanted to throw this in the flat right away, but you know what? Hollister has a wheel route. Does a great job being patient and throws a back shoulder. This is what New England wants to do today. If they can block him up with a unique protection plan, which they have today, I think they're going to be able to throw some of these routes that they haven't shown in the last year. You just saw one of them right there with Hollister.
Jags have 3 safeties on the field. They do not normally give up anything on the opponent's opening drive, but New England is driving all kinds of time. Brady fires it in there, incomplete. Trying to hit Gronkowski with Telvin Smith on the coverage. The Jags have allowed only 1 opening drive touchdown in the last 26 games by the opponents.
Well, you see Harrison hit him off the line, and as he keeps going, Telvin Smith is guarding. Brady takes a shot. Tom Brady is going to have to stand in this pocket and take hits to create the down-the-field throws today. That is an important thing to watch as this game moves on.
And that was Calais Campbell who knocked him down. And some of you just joined us. Campbell woke up this morning with a sore knee and was questionable for a while. And on 2nd and 10, Burkhead is tripped up and he's down after a pickup of about 3. And we'd like to welcome those of you who saw that incredible shootout between Kansas City and Pittsburgh. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson, Gene Steratore up in New York watching this game for any rules interpretations. This is the opening drive. It's 97. It's a scorcher here in Jacksonville. as the Patriots are driving with the first possession, but now 3rd and 7 from the Jags 36. Brady, pressure coming in, and he unloads it. That was Ngakoue who that time knocked him down. Campbell knocked him to the ground earlier on this series, and the Patriots are forced off the field. They're going to bring out Gostkowski for a long field goal try.
Watching Ngakoue, he gets up inside. The matchup to watch, we said it earlier, 91, Ngakoue on Trent Brown. Tom Brady's going to let this ball go early. He knows he's going to get hit. I want to see him run the football and take shots today. You cannot drop back 45 times and score consistently against this Jaguars defense.
They'll try it from 54. Gostkowski kick is going to be wide of the mark. And Jacksonville will be set up at the 44 with its first snap. Gostkowski has made 20 straight in the regular season, but before that on 3rd down, some of you may have said, wait a minute, aren't you supposed to release and not have all your weight on the quarterback? We checked with Gene Steratore during the break, and he said since Ngakoue was at his side, not direct on, he didn't think it was a penalty. So now the first snap for Jacksonville is a handoff to T.J. Yeldon. And again, with many of you joining us after the opening kickoff, we reported earlier that Leonard Fournette is inactive today. He's such a big part of the offense here for Jacksonville, but out with a hamstring. And the other story that is going to be interesting to see how this pans out and how it'll affect the players. The warmest game, the hottest game since Green Bay at Arizona back in 2003 in 15 years. 97 at kickoff as Bortles throws, back shoulder, no, incomplete for Moncrief. Of course, Bortles, we saw him for 2 of the 3 postseason games, the wild card game against Buffalo, that AFC title game. He was spotless, including leading them to victory in the divisional round at Pittsburgh. Never had a turnover in the 3 games, and they almost got him to the Super Bowl, led by 10 in the 4th quarter at New England.
Yeah, he played fantastic, but he's going to have to today. New England, if you talk about what they take away, the special guy, today it's the run game, period. They're not going to take away one specific player. The safety will play in the middle of the field. Bortles has to beat him.
Here's Bortles connecting, sidearms it to the 41. Safarian Jenkins is tied in for 11. Last week, Jacksonville was 0 for 8 on 3rd and 5+. They got this one, though.
Well, you see the double linebacker blitz. Bentley continues to fire at Bortles. He sidesteps, and look at that. Blake Bortles, we thought grew up in front of our eyes last year in that title game. Today he has another opportunity to change that perception that's been there for all these years.
And he was given a new 3-year contract after the postseason. Quick pass, getting the ball in the hands of Westbrook, and look at the ball come out. Down to the 30 with it is Chark. DJ Chark Jr. It's going to net 11 yards for the Jags. So,
well, you see Gilmore get in, and then here comes late Flowers. That ball is out for sure.
One hop pickup, Chark.
Look at that perfect technique, that punch right through the ball by Trey Flowers, who's been playing fantastic football over the last year and into this year. This game, these 2 teams are so good. The football matters every week, but this week more than ever.
First down from the 30, they fake to Grant, and now Bortles will throw it to him. He's dangerous, Grant, and he's run down by Van Noy. But it's a Jacksonville gain down to the 15 of 15 yards on this play.
Well, you see Chark come back across the field, and it allows the back, Grant, to get out in the flat and just makes it a little difficult on New England to communicate on, hey, who's got the guy going back? Who's got the back here? Well-designed play right there by Nathaniel Hackett, the coordinator for the Jags.
You'll see a lot of Grant today, and Yeldon again trying to make up for the loss with Fournette out with a minor hamstring. First down from the 15, Yeldon looking for any kind of crease. He's going to have a gain of 3 in the 20+ times a game. How do you adapt to that if you're Nathaniel Hackett?
Well, you really still run your offense, but you know that Yeldon can do a little bit different things. You can probably get yourself into more spread out type packages, empty, and then you let him run some routes. Fournette, that's not his strength per se. When you have Fournette, you want him to touch the ball 25 times. You want to run power, use him in the play action game.
2nd and 7. Bortles from the pocket, flings it. He had heat coming in. And there's a Patriot player down.
Oh, and that's Flowers down. That's a big deal to New England right here.
Injury timeout on the field.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, handing off big savings to you. Sonic, this is how you Sonic. And by Hyundai, official sponsor of the NFL.
Trey Flowers did walk off to the sideline. He got kicked in the back of the head inadvertently by Keontae Davis's teammates. It's a 3rd and 7 for the team that was the most efficient in the league last year in the red zone, converting to touchdowns. And they have the completion and a new set of downs at about the 4. That's Grant with the catch and a gain of 8. 1st and goal to go.
Outstanding job by Bortles. Let the tight end clear, and then Grant on a little angle route inside. Good poise in the pocket, and another player down at the end of the play.
This time it's the left tackle, Cam Robinson, for the Jaguars. Second-year player who's their 2nd-round pick a year ago out of Alabama. We're back in 30 seconds after this from AARP. Jacksonville head coach Doug Marrone has come out to find out what's going on here with his left tackle. Cam Robinson remains on the field. Injured on this last play. He's on the left side.
Tough to tell there. You can see his right foot right there. It's tough just because he's in such a position that it's hard to tell exactly. It looks like he's holding that left hamstring almost.
That was Adrian Claiborne who was driving him back. Jacksonville put 3 backup offensive linemen down on the inactive list. So only have 2 healthy backups. Josh Wells, one of them, is going to come in. As Robinson hobbles to the bench area. This is what we were talking about, Tony. You wouldn't think that this would be the most efficient team in terms of converting red zone opportunities into touchdown, but they led the entire league last year over the course of the 2017 season in the red zone.
Well, there's multiple reasons. One, Nathaniel Hackett is really an outstanding offensive coach. He does a great job putting these guys in good positions. Second, they can run the football. And then third, their quarterback can run. When your quarterback can run, you always get an extra guy in the run game. So your ability to, read and then keep it with the quarterback, your ability to hand it off, and then fake the read, hand off, and a little bootleg with a guy coming back across the field. They have all this unique stuff. This one, they just want to fake a handoff or give it to him right here.
That's Grant, the running back. Pass to the end zone, and it is pulled down and is caught for the touchdown. Dante Moncrief, the former Colt.
So you see Moncrief on Gilmore. Gilmore's inside leverage, so he doesn't get a chance to see the ball. Bortles with a perfect throw high above Gilmore's head. Moncrief sees the ball. Gilmore can't. It's a perfect spot.
Well, it was Gilmore who had the saving knockdown in the late stages of the AFC Championship game. And this time, Bortles goes back in his direction and throws the perfect pass for Moncrief to reach up and grab it for the touchdown.
Talking to both teams, the key in a lot of ways, I know we had a lot of stuff going early. early in this game, Jacksonville needed the lead to run their system throughout. New England does not want to get behind and let Saxonville come after him the rest of this game.
Here's Lambeau. Extra point is good. New England had allowed only one opening drive touchdown in the last 35 games, regular season and post. But they take it all the way down for the touchdown on this occasion. Jacksonville. We're back with the Jacksonville Jaguars taking it down the field, 56-yard drive. Couple of passes, by the way, to Corey Grant, who had just 9 career receptions in the regular season, but added 2 on that, a couple of crucial ones. And it's 7-0 Jacksonville, which led for nearly 42 minutes of the AFC Championship game, only to see the Patriots break their hearts at the end, including guys like Gilmore breaking their heart in that game.
Yep, so you're going to see on the touchdown right here, how many guys right there? There's 3 Jacksonville guys. Well, there's 5 New England. You can't run the ball right here. So you have to throw the ball outside. Good job by Bortles to understand that. Takes it. Quick little fake. Perfect throw. You're welcome. Touchdown.
And Bortles in his last 4 home games in the regular season now, 8 touchdowns, no picks. Coming out wide to the left, it's Sony Michel, the rookie out of Georgia, chosen in the first round. They throw it to him. One wiggle, and he stood up after a gain of about 7 by Jalen Ramsey. And we got an update from Tracy.
Jim, Patriots defensive end Trey Flowers taken into the locker room. He is going through the concussion protocol after taking a knee to the neck. Jaguars left tackle Cam Robinson, he is dealing with a left knee injury, questionable to return. And this is important. They need depth in this type of heat, guys.
Yes, they do. And of course, Marcus Cannon, starting right tackle normally for the Patriots, he was inactive today, out with a calf injury. This is the handoff to Michel, and Sony is about a yard, half yard short. This is interesting. This is the warmest, the hottest game that Tom Brady, in his incredible career, he's never played in a game that was hotter than 90. So here are the 5 hottest games he's played in, and he's been on the short end of them 4 of the 5 times.
Well, we found his weakness finally. Just needed to be really hot, I guess.
Maybe happy he wasn't drafted by Miami, huh?
I think he'd have been okay.
I do too. 3rd and 1. Oh, what a play to trip him up. Michel got all 3 handles, and it'll be 3 and out for New England.
Watch the D-line right in the middle here. They control the line of scrimmage, and you see in the backfield, you got Jackson, you got Jones, just dominated the interior of the offensive line there of the Patriots.
Yeah, Avery Jones, who had a big deflection last week that led to a pick 6. He was the one who busted across and tackled him for a loss. The punt by Allen is fielded by Mickens at the 10, and that short side, there is nothing available. So Jacksonville will start this second series inside of its own 20 after a 57-yard punt. Hot start here in Jacksonville.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Pizza Hut, official pizza sponsor of the NFL. And by Verizon. The best unlimited is on Verizon, America's most awarded network.
Over the offseason, many of the Jags hosting youth football camps, spreading the love of the game to the next generation. You saw Malik Jackson, Blake Bortles, Telvin Smith, and now here's Bortles running shotgun from the 16 in their second possession. They drove it 56 yards for a touchdown the first time they had it. Going to have a 4-yard pickup on forward progress out to the 20, and the catch by Moncrief, who caught the touchdown.
So watch New England. They're going to get down here. You're going to see a safety in the middle most of this game. They want Bortles to throw this ball outside. Put all these guys right here in the middle. Make him throw the ball outside the numbers as this game plays on. New England's notorious for taking away your best receiver. This game, Jacksonville doesn't have that guy. They're going to play straight up. Blake knows it.
2nd and 6. They fake into the line. And now shuffling to his left and throwing it out of bounds. It'll be 3rd and 6, but we've got an update. What a day it's been already. Some performances. JB and Coach Cowher have it.
Vikes battled into overtime.
Yeah, Daniel Carlson with a chance for a walk-off field goal. Misses his 3rd field goal on the day. Since the implementation of the 10-minute overtime, it's now produced 2 ties in the first 2 weeks. First time since 1971.
Jim, Tony, and Tracy.
Wow, so The Vikings came back with a late touchdown in the 2 to send it to overtime, and then had a chance to win it. And we've got another tie, just like last week. Cleveland, Pittsburgh. Bortles. He's going to take off on 3rd and 6. He's got open field. He's got a first down. He can run it. Now, he had his career-long rush last week against the Giants for 41 yards.
Wonderful job by Bortles stepping up. Look at the left side of the line. You see right there, Norwell, the pickup they had, which has been huge, does a great job of blocking Wise Jr., and it gives Bortles time after he reads through 2-3 progressions to get out of bounds and get the first.
They've converted on their first 3 third downs. And pre-snap call here against Jacksonville.
Ball start, number 80, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Carl Cheffers and his crew on hand for this AFC Championship game rematch.
The one thing about not having that dynamic player that they're going to try and take away, that you know New England does, is that you know what the coverages really are going to be. New England's saying, here's our coverages. We're going to stop you up front. We're going to try and slow the running game down, continue to throw it. Guy's going to drop in from the top, safety down, one safety back in the middle.
First and 15, and what a catch! Oh, wow! Velcroed by Cole for 22 yards.
Oh my God, that's the best catch easily this year. We can go back here. That's Odell Beckham right there. Look at that. And then keep it away from Rowe. I got it. And now let me bring it away from you. And let's just calmly come down. Look at that. That's the Odell Beckham catch.
No question. What is he started with that catch several years ago? That is going to be on a lot of lists for the best of the week. Cole picked up 22, and now Bortles. He'll go with the safety valve over to Grant, his 3rd catch. Stiff arm and a twist and a turn and a first down to the Patriots 40. He broke away from both Hightower and Jones for a gain of 13.
Outstanding by Grant here. Bortles looking down the field, and this is key. See how that ball's in front of him? It allows him to catch the ball, square up the defender, and make these special moves. Look at that. Whoop. Goodbye. Thank you. Nope, not you. You. All right, you got me.
I mean, there's a whole lot of different things he did with those moves.
Well, you know he's a specialty player. New England knows when he's in the game, it's a different offense. Problem is you still got to make the tackle.
The last 8 first downs in this game have been picked up by the Jags. And now again, play action. Bortles, middle of the field, and another completion down to the 24. O'Shaughnessy has the pickup of 17.
Well, people are open all over the place. O'Shaughnessy, look at the pocket for Bortles. And Bortles with another perfect throw out in front. Shaughnessy with a good route, deep over. Boy, Jacksonville, this is absolutely, Bill Belichick told us in the meeting, we cannot get off to a bad start. If they get to play from the lead, we have to change the way that we call this football game. We don't want to do that against this team.
Bortles has found 6 different targets. First down from the Patriots, 24. Going to the end zone. He's there, and it is caught by Cole. This time a much more conventional catch than the other one on this drive.
Yeah,
Stay in the stadium this time.
See ya, Bo Jackson. Come on back and play.
Yeah, that's right. When Bo ran up the ramp.
Unbelievable. Look at Tom even said it too. You can't get off this start.
He beats Eric Rowe.
Slows his body. That's a catch. That's a touchdown. And Rowe is the one guy that got rid of Malcolm Butler, right? Now all of a sudden that's a catch. Now teams are going to attack Rowe. It's early in the year. This week, Jacksonville knows they're going to come in here. They don't want to go at Gilmore consistently. They do want to go at Rowe consistently and see if he can hold up.
Keelan Cole. How about the 2 plays he made on this drive? Extra point by Lambeau is good. 14-0. Jags back in 30 after this from FanDuel. Bortles with 2 touchdown passes in this first quarter. This one to Cole, who was undrafted out of Kentucky Wesleyan a year ago.
So look at this right here, Jim. You don't think they want to stop the run? They have literally 8 guys within 5 yards, and this guy, he's going to actually cover the tight end. They're blitzing everybody, and they're saying, you can't beat us down the field. You can't beat us outside the numbers. Blake spent all week throwing that ball over and over again, and he's come out on fire New England right now is like, can we continue to run this same defensive philosophy? We'll see as it develops. We know Belichick, he's a great guy at adjusting. He's going to have to today if this continues.
Well, if their strategy was the quarterback's got to beat us in the pocket or down the field, so far he has. Bortles with 10 out of 13 and 123 yards still in the first quarter to go with the pair of touchdown passes. Lambeau to kick it. First one went all the way through the back of the end zone. Cordero Patterson grabs it this time, and it'll be another touchback. Skies are darkening here. We have thunderstorms that are in the area. They're saying isolated, and they're about 8 miles from the stadium right now. Hopefully it'll stay away. Might certainly cool things off a bit because, again, the game time kickoff temperature of 97 degrees.
All right, Tom, we've seen you do it a lot. This is going to be another daunting task. I mean, this is not, like we said, I think you stay with your offense here. You got another drive. Get the ball out of your hands early on the early downs. Keep running the football. He sees everyone down. Safety down in the box. See what Tom goes to here. Probably away from him.
Michel, the running back, gets the handoff. Gets past the wave and picks up about 3. So Sony Michel comes in on the second series, and they've had 4 plays since he entered the game, and every time it's been the football in his direction. 1 pass, 3 rushes.
Yeah, they're excited about him.
Of course, he played on this field for that annual great matchup, Georgia-Florida. They used to call it the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Last year, 6 rushes, 137, including a 74-yard touchdown on this field. 2nd and 7. Pass a little out of reach for Michel. Now the world's largest outdoor cocktail party takes place at Chateau Romo.
So watch Michel. He should keep going to the flat here. As he makes a simple play action, watch. Brady's like, keep going, and he kind of throttles right there. And Brady's like, come on, Sony, keep going there. Look at, what are you doing? You got a flat route. But I thought, no, run it. By the way, you've been a part of that Chateau.
It's good.
All right, this is where Brady's got to take hits, stand in the pocket, and deliver under duress. It's uncomfortable. No one likes it.
3rd and 7. Here they come. Got it away. Spin around for the first down out to the 40 is James White. Always reliable out of the backfield. And a gain of 12, and they move the sticks.
So you see right here the matchups. Campbell gets right around the edge on Brown. And Dante Fowler speed off the edge. They thought they had an advantage, and you could tell they do here. Gronkowski going up the field, White underneath. Smith can't get through Gronk there. Nobody does a better job than New England at getting somebody open with just a release.
Out of the eye, Michel gets the handle again. Breaks the tackle, and then is grabbed at about the 45 is where they'll mark it. As Miles Jack is pointing at Dwayne Allen, and now they're jawing and separated. Tuesday, September 25th on CBS from Dick Wolf, executive producer of Law and Order, comes the new drama FBI. It premieres Tuesday, September 25th on CBS. The former Buffalo Bills head coach, who of course saw the Patriots twice a year in his 2 years up in Orchard Park as the head coach, now in his 2nd full season with Jacksonville. 2nd and 5. As the quarter is winding down to the closing seconds, Brady's pass is wide of Chris Hogan, who once played for Doug Marrone up in Buffalo. In fact, came in the league as a Marrone find.
So watch Brady as he comes. Campbell's going to come off the edge, and as he does, the back has to come back and get him, and Brady has to throw off his back foot and get rid of this ball. Brady now has felt this pressure on at least half his throws. Probably more at this point, and I'm telling you, that is an uncomfortable feeling for him right now because he knows he's going to have to stand in and throw right here again.
With 7 seconds to go in the first quarter. 3rd and 5. And they go to the ground. Michel spins, And he's doubled up short of the first.
That's New England paying Jacksonville respect right there. You're not throwing the ball, you're running it. Wow.
First quarter is over. All Jags so far. Quarter about to start with a New England punt. This was during the break. And Tom Brady imploring some of his teammates to do your job.
Well, it's because, do you remember when they slid the line? Campbell comes free, and now the tailback has to go block him, and Brady throws early. You know what they demand here? Is that you know what you're supposed to do. You cannot make mental mistakes, and they've made too many so far.
So we start the second quarter with an Allen punt. That sails on the fly into the end zone for the touchback. So just a net of 32. Coach Belichick and the Patriots won a Super Bowl in this stadium against Philadelphia. Back in Super Bowl 39, February of 2005. It was 59 degrees, by the way, that day at kickoff. And it was a special one for Coach Belichick because he got to share the celebration on the field after the game with his father, Stephen. He passed away the following year. It was a running play by the Jags. And that little delay and pause set up an open alley for Yeldon. He's got another first down with a 13-yard carry. Keelan Cole just pulling off a Beckham-like play here. I mean, that's the one that just changed the way you look at receivers. And now they all want to do it, and they have in some cases, but that's pretty darn close to being as good as it gets. And on the same drive, scores the touchdown. Again, it's Yeldon between a couple of defenders and another first down picked up. Two big running plays in a row for Jacksonville, running behind Josh Wells, who again had to step in for Cam Robinson at left tackle.
It's just a wonderful design play. It gets New England off. You see the motion come back? Well, now all of a sudden it holds the inside backers, and they can't flow over the top, and Yeldon has a gaping hole. Just a little bit of misdirection right now, confusing New England.
Jacksonville already with 8 plays of 10 yards plus. This time they run it again. Up the middle. And it picks up about 3. Brandon Wilds was that last ball carrier. They just signed him yesterday. He's tried to latch on with a few teams, including Atlanta, the Jets, and Cleveland, and they brought him up and waived Rashad Green after Saturday's walkthrough, just in case Fournette was not able to go, and because that was the case, he gets a carry. Now they come back with Grant as the tailback. 2nd and 8. Tries to hurdle, but nowhere to go. Just a gain of a yard. As once again, they've advanced the football to the Patriots side of the field. They've got another 3rd down on the way. So far on 3rd down.
Well, Jacksonville's going to have to take a timeout here. You're not getting out of this huddle. Getting a playoff. Oh, they reset the clock for him. Perfect.
So far on 3rd down again, 3 for 3. They need to get to the 35 for the first. Bortles stepping up, flag is down. Moncrief right on the first down yardage, but a flag in the offensive backfield.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Number 68, offense, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's the new signee in the offseason, Andrew Norwell, who formerly played for the Panthers. He's one of the best in the league, one of the best guards, left guard, who had a penalty that wiped out a touchdown last week. And there you see the hands to the face of Adam Butler. And that takes away the first down and brings the football back to the Jacksonville 48.
Get down. 380.
So 3rd and 17. Lob it to Moncrief. Arcs around the defense, and he's 5 yards short of a first. He picks up 12, but from the 40 of New England, they're going to punt it.
They want to make Brady go the whole length of the field. I was tempted to go for this one right here. I was like, I might want to go for this one. 4th and 5. Get up, at least see what they're in. Try and draw them off sides. Take a penalty, move back 5 yards, then punt. You got options there.
Logan Cook is their punter, rookie out of Mississippi State. They drafted in the 7th round. Chung back to field it if he can. Oh, it almost went over his head. Punt lands at the 5, and it is covered up. Covered up at the 5-yard line by Wilson. Well done by the rookie punter. All right, Brady and the Patriots backed up at the 6 to start this series. They send Dorsett out to the left, and they're going to go out of the gun with Brady. White is flanking him on off his right side. And now stepping back into the end zone, looking across the middle, and now jump pass complete out to the 12. And that is Dorsett with his first catch of the game.
Well, you see Brady moving around. He's not that comfortable because of the start to this football game. The key to the game, we said, was New England's ability to handle the front four with new packages of protection packages, and so far they've done a very poor job of it. And Tom, you see he's playing his internal clock. You see his feet moving, you see him moving back. That's a lot for him. It's been way more than that, I promise you, under pressure so far in this game.
Well, they've got him down for 3 knockdowns in 9 dropbacks. 2nd and 4 as Brady rifles it right side, and coming back to grab it is Hollister, his second catch. He's going to be about a yard short of the first.
Well, you see, even on that throw, he's off his back foot and he's letting go of the ball. It's almost like as a quarterback you start to anticipate pressure a little bit. And watch, he's throwing it to the right and he throws it, but he kind of stays back a little bit and he feels those guys coming in. Now that's a good throw. A lot of guys can't even make that from that position. But Tom just has to continue to feel more comfortable, get him some plays where he feels comfortable, get some easy first downs.
Gronkowski shifts over to the left side. He's got 1 catch. It came on the first series of the game. And now Brady doesn't like what he sees and he calls a timeout. So Josh says, let's talk this through here. There was some confusion. You can help those affected by Hurricane Florence and other disasters by texting Red Cross to 90999 to donate $10 to American Red Cross Hurricane Relief. You know, we got talking over the course of the last few days preparing for this game about how this defense, we saw this matchup again 8 months ago. They menace Brady kind of like what the old Wade Phillips and Denver defenses did a few years ago.
Well, you see Todd Wash right there, the great defensive coordinator, next great head coach in the NFL. You know, I believe does an outstanding job of making you feel uncomfortable.
On 3rd and 1, Brady always so effective with the quarterback sneak. And let's see where they mark it.
This is going to be a tough one.
By the way, Miles Jack had a pretty good hit on him as Brady dove for the first. They do move the chains.
Does that count as a hit?
I don't know. That one he might have felt that one about as much as anything he's been so far able to absorb.
Yeah, but some of the hurries and all that, even when he slides in the pocket and hurry throws it, it's the same thing.
Check this out.
Boom. Yeah, you see right there, Jack gets a shot on the quarterback. That's, you know, those guys are dying for that.
That's Patterson now moving to the side of Brady. He ran the ball 3 times last week against Houston, and he'll run it here. It's Cordero Patterson trying to get into that next gear. He's able to pick up about 5, trying to find ways to put the ball in his hands the former Raider and Minnesota underutilized weapon, formerly drafted in the first round by the Vikings. 3 rushes, 1 catch last week, and Josh McDaniels loves to have Patterson on this roster and find ways to do things that no one ever had done with him before in this league.
Well, New England does a lot of new stuff. You see right here, they're into the boundary. You got a tight end at the bottom. You got all these guys. Everyone else puts them to the field. Motion over there. Now Brady sees what everyone's in. How are we going to block it?
Here's a 2nd and 5, and it's a pass play. Brady from the pocket, comes right side, and that is good for a first down with Gronkowski's 2nd catch. It goes for 7.
Well done by Brady, staying patient. You see Gronk's going to help in the play action game. It's a late chip leak out, which I love. I think when teams try and take away Gronk, it's really smart. Hey, you want to go guard him? A couple guys, let's just chip a guy, and then let's make the double team or someone else go guard him. He gets to help people. You can use that against people.
By the way, we have not seen one guy guarding him in Jalen Ramsey. Has not been on so far in this game. More on that to come. Here's first down. And another first down picked up by Dorsett. And he's got a gain of about 14.
Dorsett with a great feel, comes in, stops, and then gets upfield. He's really come on this year. He's taking the spot of Cooks, and they feel very comfortable about that.
So the Patriots substitute about 5 players for this next snap, including returning to the field Sony Michel.
But you do have to run the ball against these guys. It's your best way to consistently make long drives work.
Here's Michel. And he's hit first by Jack, and he's able to bounce forward for about 4.
Good job, though. Take the pressure off Brady on every play. You get 3 or 4 tough yards, it's great in this game. That's exactly how you beat Jacksonville. Then take your shot. Double move them down the field.
It's Jalen Ramsey, first team All-Pro last year.
You'll see him line up against Gronk before this game's over. Some slot formation, somewhere he's going to get him.
Here's a 2nd and 6. And again, they've got an open man. It's White. James White dives down to about the 44. Again, this drive started back at the 6. They've got another gain of 11.
Same play as before. You're going to see him run into the flat. This time, though, Michel's not the guy. James White keeps going. And it's an easy 12, 15-yard play. Same thing that Michel would have had earlier if he'd just been in here a few more times, had played a few more reps. He was banged up earlier.
4 first downs on this drive.
And they just passed the 50. It's hard to score against this defense, and it's hard to stop this offense.
Gronkowski not in on this play, and they run it again for just a couple. DJ Hayden comes up to make the hit on James White. It's kind of interesting you said back for Jacksonville when they faced 4th and 5, you were entertaining the idea. It might be a good idea to go for it, as you see Gronkowski returning to the field.
Yeah, and we're talking about that wall right there. Gets way over his toes and creates way too big a hole.
But you get Brady and company, the football even back at the 6. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it matters where they start. You had Jacksonville up 14. A little debatable, but would have been interesting to see.
Yeah, and this even right now, you feel like, hey, it's Tom Brady, we're okay. But this is hard. Jacksonville just doesn't give up a ton of drives.
2nd and 8, and they're finding receivers in open space. And that's Ramsey, who had allowed White plenty of room over there. And they've got another 10-yard pickup.
Well, Ramsey's out here playing on the running back. You see him up top. But what he's really doing, he's really looking right there on the inside, trying to rob a seam route by Brady. He thinks he's going to throw that seam. He's like, I'm going to go get it. Oh, Brady sees him and just throws a simple hitch route outside. Ramsey, just go up and cover him. Let your other guys do their job.
Brady 6 for 6 on this drive, and he's going to hand it off to White. And he'll run off the left tackle and take it inside the 30. Another 5 picked up.
I mean, when you're throwing your running back and you're getting yards and he's on Jalen, and Jalen Ramsey's the one guarding him, you feel pretty good about it, right? That tells you that New England's going to run their offense and they're going to use your tendencies against you.
Here they are on 2nd and 5, and Hogan is hammered at the 22 by Telvin Smith, and a flag comes out on the hit. And Doug Marrone says, that's not the way I saw it.
Well, I think he did, though. He had to have lowered that helmet.
Did he hit with the crown of the helmet, or was it with the shoulder pad?
I think he hit with the crown of the helmet. It looked like it from here. And
Ramsey trying to point to his shoulder pads and saying it was a clean hit. Here you go.
Helmet goes down. He angles it to the side. Oh, yeah.
Hit the face guard first before it hit the shoulder pad.
Penalty.
Looks as if at the last moment he tried to prevent the helmet-to-helmet contact, but it was there.
Yeah, and it's such a big blow-up that it's almost hard not to call that. Even if it's a glancing blow or something and he barely hits him, they may not call it. But that one they're calling.
6 yards on the pass play, 11 yards on the penalty, and now the football resides just outside the 10.
You got to watch it. Fullback all the way down at the bottom of your screen. It's no big deal. No one ever throws that guy the ball.
That would be James Devlin.
New England's the only team who might do something out there.
He's looking that way. He's going to the end zone, and it's over the head of everyone, including Dorsett.
It is amazing. Tom actually should have thrown him the ball there. He was open, but he thought for sure the corner would bite, or the safety who was actually on him, Harrison.
They can go so deep into the playbook.
They just do things no one even considers. It's amazing, but it's because they have such intelligent players. They do unique things every week. They change it up. It's asking a lot for your players, but that's why they have to study, and that's what makes New England New England.
This time they bring Patterson to the right side, Hogan in the slot to the right. 2nd and 10 from the 11. Pass, tough catch made, only a gain of 1, and Smith, who had been flagged a few plays ago, brings him down immediately. Dorsett with the catch.
Tom thought this is a specialty design play. Look at that. All the way around. That's a cool little angle there. But Tom thought they designed this play to score a touchdown versus that coverage. And a great job right there by Smith.
This drive has lasted over 8 minutes, more than half the quarter. And now we come to 3rd and 9 with Brady. Back to throw and waiting and going to the end zone. Patterson's out of bounds. Boye on the coverage.
Just outstanding defense by Jacksonville. No one's open. Look at inside, look at outside. Dorsett's got nothing, using 3 moves. Gronk is double teamed inside right there, and you'll see a safety right there inside. Church, Gibson outside. It's tough sledding right now for New England on every play. You just saw how long that drive went.
How about 8 minutes and 16 seconds and 83 yards? They drive it, but they're going to have to try to settle for a field goal. Gostkowski knocks it through from 29 out. Yeah, a lot of time, a lot of yardage, not a lot of points.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by NFL Sunday Ticket on DirecTV. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Own it September 18th. And by Domino's. Order online at Domino's.com.
Nearby Amelia Island and all of its beautiful beaches. We have 2:45 to go before halftime. And the question is now, Tony, can Jacksonville make sure they don't give the football back to Brady and company before the intermission, because they always do so much business before halftime in the last 2 minutes. Mickens will not entertain any idea of running that out. Let's get an update on the weather. Trace, all yours.
Jim, it was brutally hot to start this game. The cloud cover has helped a little bit, but it's the humidity as well. Right now, it feels like 99 degrees. Both teams staying hydrated, using the cool mist fans, and trying to keep the balls dry as well. One note, Jacksonville decided to do exactly what New England Patriots did. They put up thermometers on their sideline. The Patriots took it down, Jim.
Okay. A little gamesmanship behind the scenes, as 1st and 10 throw is on the money for Yeldon. He steps out after a first down. By the way, that New England drive of 8 minutes 20 seconds was the longest by the Patriots since a game back in 2015. So take me through the strategy here, Tone, with 2:30 to go in the half.
Well, to me, you stay aggressive. Jacksonville, you've done this before. You don't give this ball back to Brady. You don't let them come out here right away and finish this off and go into this 14-10. You've dominated the first half. Keep getting first downs, control this ball all the way down the field.
From the 36, Bortles wanting to tuck it under, and he does, and he ducks to avoid a big lick. And a pickup of about 4, and this is going to run down to the 2-minute warning.
You see how aggressive New England blitzing on that. They want this ball back. This is an important drive right here.
You're watching the NFL on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. And by Fidelity Investments.
So we're coming out of the 2-minute warning. Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson. It's 2nd and 7 for Jacksonville with a 14-3 lead. Ball at the Jags 39. This offensive unit's been off the field for a long time after that lengthy drive by the Patriots, but they had all kinds of momentum in that first quarter.
Stay aggressive here, Jacksonville.
Play action down the middle, and that was dangerous. Cole unable to catch it this time. Don't forget, the Verizon halftime report is coming up with JB and all the crew. All the scores and highlights. Some of these performances out there today. Patrick Mahomes, 6 touchdown passes and leading Kansas City to a 2nd straight road win to open up the year.
Pretty good start to his career. Kansas City hit a home run, it looks like there. 3rd and 7. Big time play here. Coming after you, get it out.
Big time blitz, they pick it up, pass caught. New set of downs. He got it out to Safarian Jenkins.
Now you take your time. Take your time. You're still going to move through this, but that's a big time throw and catch. And at this point, I'd want to wait another. There you go. Tell them what to do. Get them lined up. Call one of your really good plays.
The jump pass incomplete. He still had about 22 seconds on the play clock when they took the snap. And now the incompletion.
You're in that fine little spot where it's like you're wanting to go get points, but you don't want to give them the ball back. And, you know, right there, they run crossers a play. They run a ton. And it really is fine. You can snap it at 20. You just don't want to snap it right away. You want to make it go down.
And there is the distance to what our folks believe is the target line.
Now, they can run this ball if they wanted to, but I'd continue doing the same thing. Throw it on every down.
2nd and 10. Bortles steps up in the pressure and has the completion and another new set of downs in field goal range. Cole with another catch.
Bortles so calm in this pocket. Just watch him right here. Left, nope. Crosser, nope. Step up, fire right to the middle.
That's a gain of 17.
Now you can go fast. I don't worry from this point on about Brady.
Yeldon picks up the blitz, and Bortles throws it away. That was Keontae Davis who was trying to come after him, and Yeldon did a good job of slowing him down.
Do you think maybe all offseason hearing about how they should have been aggressive in that AFC title game, you think maybe they heard that?
Oh, yeah. They were talking about it openly with us this week, about how they just wanted this chance to come back, but Marrone at the same time said that we're not out to avenge that game. This is, in his mind, just week 2 of a long season.
It is week 2, but it is big. Free safety blitz off the bottom of your screen right here. Got to pick it up.
That's Chung. They pick it up. They complete it. Stiff arm by Cole, and he is shoved out of bounds by Jason McCourty after a 14-yard catch and run.
Now watch, off the edge, if you pick that up, you get that extra second in the pocket to wait for the crosser. That's why the big play develops. Communication from quarterback to the O-line to the running back, big play.
Look at Cole's numbers, 4 for 77 and a touchdown. By the way, the AFC Championship game, it was 14-3 Jacksonville in the second quarter at one time, and then Brady led him to a touchdown drive with a minute to go before the half to make it 14-10 game at halftime. Jacksonville, though, trying to add to its total with 54 seconds to go and a new set of downs. As Bortles throws it over the head of Grant, and there were a couple of Patriot defenders closing in.
So you got all 3 timeouts. You can do anything you want. I'm staying aggressive and trying to score a touchdown. I'm in field goal range. You're just not turning the ball over. There's no chance of a turnover. That's the only thing that gets you in trouble here. Even if you have to kick a field goal, you're fine. I'm being real aggressive outside the numbers. Inside, things can happen.
Yeldon, the running back. Patriots, they're going to rush 5. Now they drop back. Bortles has again open space for his receiver. That's D.D. Westbrook. And the Jags have another first down.
Staple play. You're going to see a crosser. Back's going to go up and then go right. And then bam. Bortles just reads the first crosser across the field. D.D. Westbrook. And really this O-line is making Bortles feel real comfortable.
And again, Trey Flowers is still out with the concussion protocol, of course, for New England. And we hear that Cam Robinson, who injured a knee in the first quarter, he is not going to return to left tackle. Yeldon,
outstanding,
with a sprint down to about the 4.
Outstanding call. They got the right look. You got 3 timeouts. I'd get them up on the line right here and take a look at what they're in. If you love it, you throw a play. Got to go a little bit quicker. Come on now, get on the ball, Blake. All right, take the timeout now. Now you take a timeout. Timeout. Timeout.
They call it with 18 seconds. Marrone came out onto the field to call that timeout. Jags at the door. Go in again. Out of a Jacksonville timeout. 2nd and 3. Ball at the 4. They can get a first inside the 1.
New England doesn't want him to run here. They stack in the box. He can throw it outside if he wants to.
You take him.
You take him, you take him, you take him. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this fade outside.
That's Chark at the top of the screen. They're looking his way. The rookie, and it is. Oh, he made sure Jones wasn't going to come down with a pick. But that was DJ Chark Jr., the 2nd-round pick out of LSU.
You got to go, Chark, go. He just runs into him, and good job by Jones playing for the fade.
Now you got 3rd and 3 with 14 seconds.
New England once again aligning so you can't run the football against them.
Timeout, Patriots. Gives us a chance to remind you that the Verizon Halftime Report with JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, Coach Cowher, all the latest scores and highlights is coming up. We've got late afternoon action out in Denver, for example, where the Raiders are blanking the Broncos at halftime, 12-0. And the Jacksonville owner, Shad Khan, who has reinvested so much into this program and into the stadium, into this city. And Robert and Jonathan Kraft, the Kraft family, out for what would be their 300th win since taking ownership 25 years ago. They'd be the fastest owners to get there, as far as fewest games to get to 300 wins, regular and post. 3rd and 3. Bortles with time, lofts it, wide open. Safarian Jenkins with the Jaguar touchdown. How about that drive, Tony? 75 yards they go.
And you see Safarian Jenkins in the corner. That's a big-time drive that they didn't do last year. And you see Safarian Jenkins gives them a little bit of a different weapon. Lewis last year they had. Blocking tight end did a lot of great things. But this is the weapon they wanted to use last week. Wasn't quite there. Today, you're seeing this offense open it up. Wow.
Lambeau adds the extra point. Safarian Jenkins, the guy to me, is saying, hey, Patriots, you owe me one. They took that touchdown away from him last year when he was a Jet, that controversial play on the pylon. But no question about this one. Safarian Jenkins open. Bortles finds him. Bortles with 200 yards passing, right on the number, and 3 first-half touchdown passes.
Wow, it's a perfect first half for Bortles. Nathaniel Hackett with a perfect call, and I can tell you the guy on the other sideline, Don Brady, he knows what this challenge is today right now. Right now in his head, he's like, this is the last thing we said we could be in. A whole 14-3, one thing. 21-3, he's going to have to take a beating to win this game. Like, he's going to have to get hit 5, 6, 7 times in this next half and throw under duress and tight windows for them to win this football game. And you know that, and he's not happy about it right now. Too many mental errors by New England to start this game.
And who would have thought that the quarterback comparison would look like this?
Wow.
And by the way, Jacksonville will receive the third quarter kick.
I mean, think about the difference in the quarterback's pocket. Brady's having to throw under duress on every play. Bortles has looked pretty much clean other than one play the whole half.
That's Michelle. And he's near the 40 with 3 seconds to go.
3 seconds. You kneel it, Jim. Although New England wishes they had 5 seconds because they would throw it with 5 real quick and get down and see if they could kick one. There's no Hail Mary here. You don't want to get your quarterback hit, anything silly.
So we reach halftime, and it's only the second time in Bortles' career that he's thrown 3 first-half touchdown passes. Jacksonville had it 4 times. They scored touchdowns on 3 of those 4 drives. 21-3 at halftime. Halftime is next after these first-half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station. Jacksonville shortly to receive the second-half kick, up 21-3 as we take a look at the first-half highlight presented by DirecTV, and it was that touchdown right before the intermission. Bortles' 3rd touchdown toss of the game, and it goes to Safarian Jenkins. And don't for a minute, though, think that we've heard the last today from Tom Brady and company, because I'm about to show everyone a stat that sums it up. Ready for this?
I'm ready.
3rd time since 2006. They've been down at least 18 points at halftime. They've won the last 2.
Oh, this is over. We can go home.
That was both in overtime, by the way. And, of course, the Atlanta Super Bowl win, Super Bowl 51, was down 28-3. But it's still going to take an awful lot to come back against this Jacksonville defense.
Yeah, I like that Denver defense. The reality of it is, to beat New England, it takes 4 quarters. It just, you don't automatically win a football game. Yeah, Jacksonville's in great position, but we've seen this play out a lot. Right now, you stay aggressive, Jacksonville. Do not turn the football over and give him a short field. Make Tom go over and over 80 yards down the field. They can do that. They have the team to do it, and obviously, Bortles, you know, for me, honestly, Jim, the difference in this game is the O-line of Jacksonville right now. They have dominated the line of scrimmage. Off-season acquisition, Norwell, huge.
And doing it again without Cam Robinson most of the way. Look at, they fake a reverse on the run back as Mickens takes it near the 20. Let's go to Tracy.
A lot, Jim. I had a chance to speak with Doug Marrone going into the half. He said he feels as though his team has a really good beat right now on what the Patriots are doing. They need to continue to be aggressive and energized. I asked him about the idea of finishing after what happened in the AFC Championship last year. He said he told them they need to accomplish 2 things. 1, do not let the Patriots have the ball at the end of the half, and do not let them have it at the end of the 4th quarter. They've accomplished one of those goals so far, Jim.
That was a huge drive for them with a couple of 3rd down conversions to keep it out of their hands and score a touchdown. And they complete for the 5th time in this game a pass over to Keelan Cole, this one for 6. So they've met 7 times in the regular season, Jacksonville and New England. And New England is 7-0 all-time regular season against the Jags. And this, as we start the 3rd quarter, this marks the first time that the Jags have ever led in the second half against the Patriots in the regular season.
It's going to be hard to adjust if you're Bill Belichick, because that safety right there in the middle, he can't really do much else. They're playing man-to-man. You got to shut the run down. They have a lead. And Jackson's just going to keep throwing.
2nd and 4, and that pass is complete near the 39. Moncrief with the grab.
I love Jacksonville twice in a row coming right out and being aggressive. Let's fake another handoff. We know it's man-to-man, and Bortles just throwing the ball, you know, as well as I've ever seen him, on point, consistently, throw after throw after throw. You know the coverage before the snap. You know that those people are having a good time. And you know that we wish we were in there as well calling this game.
I could see you doing that.
I'm sure you could.
Yes, I could. 1st and 10 from the 39. As Bortles flushed out. Fires it out of bounds smartly.
How about 3 passes to open up the second half? Did you see that after 21-3? I think Doug Marrone, Nathaniel Hackett making a statement.
As Wise.
A little love tap, little love tap.
And the crowd just saw it and reacted.
Like, that's a little close. Poise, though, isn't he? He's playing just with incredible poise, like the guy on the other side always plays with.
First half, there were 3 flags on Jacksonville. No flags the first 2 quarters on New England. And now it's a 2nd and 10.
Throw the screen, yeah.
That's Graham. And unable to get away from that Patriot defense, including Keontae Davis with a tackle for a loss of 1. Yeah, a lot of people saying Blake Bortles, wow, this is impressive. In his 5th year out of Central Florida, just surpassed 15,000 career pass yards in the win over the New York Giants last week.
And you can tell right here, Jacksonville getting ready for pressure. We'll see if New England comes after them because they just don't like outscoring. When you get those guys both in the backfield next to the quarterback, that's to handle any kind of pressure look that New England can throw at you.
3rd and 11, and again he's on target. It's Cole, and able to beat Rowe and go out of bounds at the New England 40.
It's just too easy right now. He's dropping back and looking at Rowe on the sideline and saying, who's Rowe covering? I'm going to throw it at him because it's cover 1, and Cole's on him. And watch this route. Go in, I got you. Nope. Right back out to the sideline. And Rowe just too slow to turn the hips to get back over there.
And again, to think all of this is happening without Cam Robinson as left tackle or Leonard Fournette. And that's Yeldon running for 6. Hey, take 2 of the integral parts of your offense out, especially Fournette. There he is. I mean, what a rookie season he had last year.
It's incredible, really, the dominant guys up front. Yes, we know Fournette. He's fantastic. But this O-line, the push that they're getting right now, I mean, it looks to me like they're just, I mean, it was 5 yards on that last play before New England's guy could touch him, and they were all 5 yards downfield, every D line.
And there you shift over to 72, and that's Josh Wells again subbing on the first half for Robinson at left tackle. Grant spun down after 1. It'll be 3rd and 3. They're in the long field goal range here for Lambeau. Cole on the previous play went over 100 yards receiving on the game, 6 for 105 and a touchdown.
This is an interesting call right here. It's 3rd and 3. New England's giving you man-to-man the whole day. They're saying beat us, and they are on the outside. They're taking advantage of Rowe. Same exact coverage, same thing again. But do they pressure? Do they send the inside backers and make this come out? They run the same defense they've been running.
Again, it's Cole. No one near him off the line of scrimmage, and he's down to the 20. And Jacksonville keeps on moving. A gain of 11.
Oh, just a great call. Watch outside. You're going to see a slant, but this is going to be the big one. The pick right here on the outside to get Cole open. Right there. No one can get that far to help. It's just Nathaniel Hackett has come up with a perfect game plan, and Blake Bortles has been perfect executing it.
And look at his 3rd down passing, Tony. 7 out of 7 for 76 yards and a touchdown. Sidearms it. Ball in the air, incomplete. Out of the hands of Chark. And he took a pretty big hit.
It's a pretty wicked hit. You see. Oh, don't throw that one. Got to wait for him to clear. Gilmore comes off and waits right there. Good job not hitting him with his helmet, though.
Hit him with the shoulder.
Yep.
Legal play, 2nd down and 10. On this opening drive of the second half. Grant runs out of real estate at about the 18. So no Fournette, no Robinson, and also worth noting their top receiver of a year ago, Marquise Lee, had that horrific torn ACL injury during the preseason. So they had to kind of reinvent themselves on the outside as well.
You know, the big thing about Lee is he's such a great leader, but when I say that, he's a great run blocker. He makes every other receiver have to run block, and that helps the whole team. It's small, no one talks about it. When your best players out there blocking hard, you have to as well in that group.
3rd and 7. Again, Bortles perfect so far on 3rd down in the game. Pressure from the edges. He's got room. He's going to challenge it, and he's going to get it. Blake Bortles with the first down scramble. Gain of 10.
What a perfect game this guy's playing. Bortles looking right, sees the crosser, he's covered. Everyone is covered. And then right there gives him a little move to make sure he gets the first, knowing exactly where that first down is. Protecting the football. Blake Bortles, you are playing fantastic today.
Look at him. 3rd all-time yards rushing for quarterbacks, minimum 200 attempts behind Mike Vick and the old Bear, Bobby Douglas. 1st and goal. Pass almost turning around to catch it was Yeldon. Incomplete.
New England, tired of sitting back, letting them pick them apart, has decided to come after him, which I agree with. You got to come after him and make them, beat you with a quick throw, aggressive stuff. It's time now to, they can't give up a touchdown here, Jim, right? Even the great Tom Brady,
well,
we're asking for a lot.
Hey, it was 28-3 again against Atlanta with about 3 minutes to go in the 3rd, and that's Super Bowl 51.
You're right, blitz, all-out blitz again. You're not letting them run this in. 24-3, I still feel comfortable. 28-3, only in the Super Bowl can you come back. Not in the regular.
Not a regular season.
No, it's asking too much.
3rd and goal coming up from the 10.
The other thing too is look at how long. It's now going on 7 minutes. That's as important as scoring this touchdown is the fact that Brady has just not touched the ball for a half of one quarter here, taking away half the whole 3rd quarter. That's ideal coming out of halftime.
Here we go, 3rd and goal from the 10. Bortles, pressure on, got it away, but it's going nowhere. He had to unload it. He hit the deck. Gilmore broke it up. Claiborne was the one who clobbered the quarterback.
And he should. Now watch, he's coming free on the right side. Claiborne with a great push backside. But I can promise you, Grissom needs to go. He's late. He's got to go. It allows Bortles to throw the ball. And
clean coverage.
It's really good coverage. I was fine with that. Let's not reward guys for 2-yard routes.
Gonna be a 28-yard field goal attempt here by Lambeau. Jacksonville had scored 11 straight touchdowns in goal-to-go situations before this one fizzles out at the 10. But they add 3 more, and they took almost half the quarter off the clock. 24-3 in the 3rd. Jacksonville. 7:50 remaining in the 3rd quarter as Jacksonville just drove 71 yards, 15 plays. And again, almost half the quarter elapsed. And they add 3 more to their lead. Patterson says, why not? From mid-end zone. Averages 30 for his career on kick returns. And we got a flag out as he's brought down near the 20-yard line. Tom Brady loosening up. He has not thrown a pass in 45 minutes of real time since they had that 8-minute and 10-second drive.
Return, illegal block in the back. Number 52, return team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Yeah, since they had that 8-minute plus drive that led to just a field goal. Saturday, the best game for the best conference. The SEC on CBS. A&M takes on the #1 team in the country, Alabama, riding a 20-game home winning streak to Tide. All starts with college football today. And, of course, all the latest news on that show beginning at 3 Eastern on CBS. From the 10. Pass wide of Devlin. And rookie Ronnie Harrison in on coverage.
Now watch how many different ways they're defending Gronk today. There's been a bunch, but this is the amazing part. The safety's going to go. Watch Miles Jack in the middle. That's a middle linebacker. The free safety is going to come down and double, and Jack is going to go back and take his spot in the deep part of the field. No one is doubling Gronk that way. That's why it's so hard for them to get the ball to Gronk. Todd Wash, unbelievable game plan.
We got an injury timeout on the field.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Modelo Especial, brewed with a fighting spirit since 1925. The Home Depot, more saving, more doing. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Calais Campbell was the injured Jaguar, and he got poked in the eye. He's on the bench as the Patriots have a 2nd and 10 from the 10. And that's a 5-yard pickup to Dorsett.
Finally, we got the matchup we were waiting to see. Gronk on Ramsey. And you see right there, Tom had him one-on-one, and he went somewhere else. You see down here at the bottom. Tom sees it. I think he wanted to see if they were going to double or do something. He watches the safety, and he's like, okay, I'm going to make this throw. But he knows it. In the back of his mind, he knows he can come back to that formation. I'm going to see if he tests Ramsey.
Ramsey, who said, I don't think Gronk's good. Let me just say, I don't think he's as great as people think he is. It's drawn a lot of attention all week. 3rd and 5 and long ball time. Down the sideline and just out of reach for Dorsett. Patman was in on the coverage, and he had actually, Dorsett's such a speedster, he had a step on him.
See, the problem, though, is he had a step. You see how close to the sideline he is? It's a lot more difficult throw for the quarterback because it's so precise. If he stays inside 2 more yards and doesn't get so much width outside, it's way easier. He made that much harder than it should have been.
A spiral punt after a 3 and out, and catching it on his knees is Jadon Mickens, 55-yard boot. Over 100 heat index. Jaguars are hot as well. After an uneventful series for the Patriots, the ball goes right back to the Jags with 6:43 to go, quarter number 3. They continue to go up top, pulling it down and leveled in the back by Hightower. Westbrook holds on for 6. It's a banged up New England defense right now, Tracy.
That's right, Jim. They are without 2 key defensive players. The Patriots officially list defensive end Trey Flowers out with a concussion. They are also without safety Patrick Chung. He suffered a concussion in the first half. He did not come out of the locker room. He is done for the day, Jim.
And the 2 of the best players they have, the strong safety and their best pass rusher in Flowers.
Well, you know this New England defense is tired right now. I mean, it's so hot out there. You're getting moved off the ball left and right.
2nd and 4, and ball is out. Ball is out. Chark fumbled it, and it's picked up by Duron Harmon. And we have a takeaway by New England. Gilmore was the one who stripped it. The rookie coughs it up.
We need to see this. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, it looks like a catch. It looks like a catch fumble. New England back from the dead.
Yes.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. The best unlimited is on Verizon, America's most awarded network. And by McDonald's.
We've seen our first turnover of the game. DJ Chark's first NFL reception ends with a fumble. And the Patriots run it with their rookie Michel for 2. And if you're having any question about was that a football move or did he have it long enough, I don't think there's any doubt.
Well, don't put it in your right hand. The corner's outside. When you catch that ball, you go to your left. That looks like a fumble to me. Catch, fumble, but don't. When you catch a slant, where do you think the corner is? He's outside.
Right.
You don't put it toward him and then move toward him. He'll learn. He's young. First year, second game.
You looked at Ngakoue as they get the ball to Patterson. He takes a big hit by Tashawn Gibson and Telvin Smith. We got an update back to New York. JP and the coach.
Carr's excellence continues.
Yeah, there's Derek Carr, 20 yards to Seth Roberts. How about these numbers for the day? 21 of 22, 213 yards, and has completed 17 straight completions.
Back to Jim Nantz.
17 straight for Carr. That's an impressive showing so far by the Raiders after a stinker on Monday night.
Take a look up top now. You got Gronk up top. He's in the seam. There should be double teamed right there. He can throw. I would throw the ball down at the bottom here at the left.
One on the play clock. Brady. Pressure coming. Brady steps up, going to run for it. And he's got the first. Something you seldom see. Tom taking off and scrambling for 10 and a first down.
Well, great job by Jacksonville and by Brady. Jacksonville hides the double team and blitzes. Gronk was one-on-one, but Brady thought he was going to be doubled there. And then Brady showing off those wheels that everybody has been talking about for years.
The 41-year-old speedster.
He does work hard in the offseason to keep that subtle quick twitch that he's had all these years, but he's beating Father Time.
Play action fake, now bootleg and throws to an open man, and it's caught by Hollister.
I mean, let's be honest. When was the last time Brady's bootlegging? You don't see it, but they're digging way deep into their playbook right now to bring that out. That is a coach who says, we can't move the ball a lot of different ways. We're doing it, unconventionally. And there's Josh McDaniels. He's got a bunch up his sleeve. Remember all the trick plays in the AFC title game?
Oh, yeah. He's got a few of them always, in the hip pocket.
And when he brings them out, and you can't move the ball.
Second and a foot. That, by the way, the scramble 2 plays ago was Brady's longest run since 2016. Got the first down. Look at this run. Sony Michel down to the 10.
Starting to remind me of the 03-04 Patriots. Tough running right here, getting I formation. Weak side ISO, fullback leading right in front of you again.
Tristan Gall tripped up near the 6 as Michel carries it again. He's got 7 carries, 31 yards.
Look at, they're getting up to the ball fast in I formation. Motion Gronk one way real quick, handoff real fast.
And early contact. That is Abry Jones, who made earlier in this game a key tackle on a 3rd and short situation, tackle for a loss. And out goes Jones along with their first-round pick, Taven Bryan, to the sideline. Dante Fowler comes onto the field. He's disruptive. 3rd and goal.
Gronk lined up at the bottom of your screen. Right now, he has Gibson on him. Got to be double teamed, but the problem is you got your back one-on-one.
Here's Brady, rifles it, touchdown, New England. Chris Hogan. They take advantage of the turnover by Chark. And the rookie drops his head, knowing how big that was, as the Patriots have life.
3 defenders over here, and you're going to see 3 and 4 go to Gronk and the back. Brady goes to the side of the field with everyone over there where they're one-on-one. Look at that. Look at the space there. That's because you have Gronk and your back on one side, and those are the 2 defenders that they wanted to double on that play. Great read by Brady, and they're back in the game.
Gostkowski drills the extra point as a flag comes out. Chris Hogan scores a touchdown against the head coach who gave him a chance in the league. Doug Marrone, former lacrosse player who switched to football late in his college career. He went between Penn State and Monmouth College. Monmouth University down West Long Branch, New Jersey. And turned himself into a football player.
He's quite the football player.
Unnecessary roughness, number 93, defense. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. The extra point is good.
So Campbell, first time we saw him in the series, he comes out for the special teams play and gets flagged. Now they'll mark off that penalty on the kickoff.
Let's go.
Don't know if you'll expect anything here by New England. There's so much time still to go in this game. 1:42 to go in the third, but they'll be kicking at midfield.
Yeah. Here we go. 50-yard line. You got an onside kick. No, I'm just kidding. This is where if you're Belichick, though, you can use this to your advantage. Can you kick this ball to the 5 or 10?
Well, they're great at that. I mean, it's one thing.
You say all the time, people kick it out of the end zone when you get all this. Your guys are 10, 15 yards up right here.
Have a chance to like pooch kick it down around the 10, get the ball on the ground, create a mad dash scramble for it. But you know, you said just jokingly, you're not going to onside kick it, but I mean, you were at the 50 because of the penalty.
Kick it like this is one thing I think they practice more than other teams. Just kick this out of the end zone. Kick it to the 5. If your kicker has this ability, has been practicing it, everybody is closer to him. You're going to get him way pinned down.
That's exactly what we talked about here.
That's too far.
Just about a yard too far.
And Belichick won't be happy with that.
So now you're Jacksonville. You've just turned it over and finally given New England a chance to find the end zone. What's the psyche for the Jags offense?
You stay aggressive. You don't. I mean, as you know, we talked about it's a 4-quarter game against this team. You can't turn the ball over. That's number one. That's, a rookie making a mistake there. That was big. But you're fine. Right now, you know what they're going to be in. Their D-line is tired. Just keep attacking them. Run the plays. It's man-to-man. Get the ball out of your hand and let your receivers do what you've done all day. There's no big adjustment coming here.
There's a handoff. Yeldon. And he's wrapped up by Lawrence Guy after only one. You saw Belichick really unhappy with the way that turned out on the kickoff. Not happy to see that Gostkowski go a yard deep into the end zone. He was hoping to get everybody down there and try to force a play inside the 10. So now let's see what they do here out of the gun, 2nd and 9. Pass thrown. Oh, should have been caught. It was a great throw by Bortles. Moncrief couldn't hold on.
Boy, that really was a great throw.
And now you got a long 3rd down coming up. 3rd and 9.
If I'm New England, I all out pressure him again. This ball, I'm not letting him sit in that pocket where he has 15 seconds.
Moncrief limped off the field after failing to make the grab. Here's Bortles lofting this one. Sharp stretches out, can't pull it down. Short series for the Jaguars. Inside a minute to go in the 3rd.
Boy, both these plays right at the edge of these receivers' hands. That one's tougher than the last one, but almost comes up with it. But you can see how close that is to the sideline. Just makes it very difficult to put that ball on the inside of his numbers with the corner right there.
So Patrick Chung again is out because of the concussion. So now Cordero Patterson is going to go back deep. They've gone through all these different returners. Last week it was Riley McCarron, who muffed a punt, was released at the beginning of the week after that miscue against Houston, and has been re-signed back to the practice squad. Short kick. Bounces at the 40 and is down at that point. Just a 33-yard punt. Donald Payne downed it. And yes, it was a 10-point 4th quarter comeback in January with Brady and Amendola connecting twice for touchdowns in the 4th quarter.
Remember that Bortles pass just over the top.
Of course, there was also the famous, they still talk about around here, the Miles Jack wasn't down play, as they call it. This is what happened the final 12 minutes. In that game, as the Jags were 1 quarter away from going to the Super Bowl. Here's Brady. Someone on him quickly, but he's able to dump it off. Nice move by White. And White's in a sprint down to the 31-yard line.
Well, you see New England's trickery. Patterson on the thing, fake to him, get outside. White with a little juke, shows the burst. And now New England's got him on their toes.
Closing seconds of the third quarter. That went for 27. Longest play of the game for New England. Another completion. And that goes again to White to close out the quarter with a pickup of 7. So there's a momentum change in the air here in Jacksonville as we go to the fourth, and the Jaguars up by 14. Welcome to the fourth. Jim Nantz and Tony Romo and Tracy Wolfson. Jim Rickoff, our producer, Mike Arnold, our director, and here we go. What's going to happen here? 2nd and 4. As the Patriots are driving. First snap of the fourth from the 26 of Jacksonville. Empty out the backfield for Brady. Finding a rhythm now. And he goes right side Gronk, and he is tightly covered by Tashaun Gibson. Gronkowski in this game has 2 catches for 15 yards.
Wonderful job by Gibson. Stay outside, stay outside. You got help inside. He makes him go all the way to the sideline. He's fighting for every inch with the big Gronkowski.
3rd and 4 on the way. Those 2 catches by Gronk, both coming in the first half. He's going to go into a slot on the right side.
You got a motion here. Got a motion Patterson, right? There you go.
Ramsey is eyeing him. Brady gets it over to Patterson. He hits the ground, and he is down back at the 28. Touchdown by DJ Hayden, and a loss of a couple.
Now you got to kick the field goal. That's the thing. If you just throw it incomplete, you're going to go for it. It's really well done by Brady getting through the progression. Patterson just got to stay athletic a little bit.
Oh. He was trying to set up to make one juke move on DJ Hayden, lost his footing in concentration. So instead of going for it in 4th and 6, they'll go 46-yard field goal try. Gostkowski's kick is delivered. 10 unanswered points by the Patriots. Trim it to 11. Unanswered in the last 2.5 minutes. As we're just a minute into the final quarter. Mickens, the return man. Oh, and here they try to angle it. Can get it on the ground quickly. Scooped up by Grant. And a flag is out near the 40. That's the kind of kick that Belichick was looking for when they kicked it at the 50.
I think he yelled at him so much after that that he decided to do it this time.
I'm going to go do it again.
I can prove to you, Coach, I can do it.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 55, return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
It's on Lorente McRae, so Jacksonville will be backed up. Early headlines. We've got a new star in this league, folks, and his name is Patrick Mahomes. 6 more touchdown passes today, leading the Chiefs to victory in Pittsburgh. And how about Ryan Fitzpatrick? Over 400-yard passing for the 2nd straight week. Vikings, Packers got a tie in Green Bay. Ties both weeks 1 and 2 in the league. Hand off to Yeldon. And only a yard. And I tell you what Mahomes has done with wins, a divisional win on the road at the Chargers, and then a win at Pittsburgh. My goodness, 5 incompletions, but 6 touchdown passes.
I'm telling you, you don't accidentally luck your way into a start of your career like that. He's for real. And he's got Andy Reid and that whole system. I mean, outstanding start to your career, and it looks like he's the real deal, Jim. I mean, it's going to be fun watching him grow.
2nd and 9, and Bortles has time, and the pass is in the air, and it's intercepted by Van Noy. Should have been caught. That wasn't on the quarterback. Safarian Jenkins got hit, didn't hold on, and another takeaway by this Patriot defense.
Going to the well one too many times. Blake's got to see. Safety 31 right there, standing in front of him. Jones is right there. You can't do that. Oh, that's another short field now. Does he get it? Wow, he says.
And so do some 70,000 people here say the exact same thing. White, the running back.
Momentum's a big deal, isn't it?
Oh, man, you could just feel it.
It was just
right after the first fumble. Brady, from the pocket, unloads it incomplete.
Brady's got a little, what do you call it? Little pep in his step. Like if you look there, he's starting to bounce, but in a good way, where it looks like he's like, let me just go through the whole field here. Oh, they got me. Okay, throw it.
He doesn't have a lot of pressure around his feet, so he can have that bounce in his step.
Well, here's what happens. The game's gone so long. These D linemen are tired. They're not going to have the same pass rush they had early in this first part of the game. Brady knows it right now. He's going to feel comfortable in his pocket, and he's going to go through the progressions and wait till he's going to get hit.
2nd and 10. Gives it to White. Trying to slip through a tackle, but that's Hayden holding on and limiting the ball carrier to just a yard.
Now here comes Jacksonville's, basically their pass rush team. They come in on 3rd and 9. They bring in all these pass rushers, and now you got speed on the edge, speed in the middle. They're going to come after them. You got to have a good play call here now. New England has to do something. You can't just drop back and pass like it's nothing here. Chip Gronkowski or throw him the ball quickly. This ball better get up in the air or do something.
Brady, ball is out, fumbled. Jacksonville with the recovery. Dante Fowler, who got to Brady a couple of times back in January, he got to him again this time.
Well, I'm shocked. The one mistake finally is that at this situation, you cannot let this D-line defeat you. This is way too good. Dante Fowler comes in off the edge. Look at the bottom of your screen. He's going to run right around Waddle. That's speed off the edge, and you got power in the middle.
Look at him trying to get, as Waddle's holding him so he couldn't get to it, and finally broke free of Waddle. Strips it, and now trying to get it. Waddle says, you're not getting there, and Fowler fights him off and finds the pigskin.
Wow, defense standing up. The biggest moment of the game. You felt it now. Oh, right here it is. Another big drive. Every one of these feels like the game's on the line.
Bortles at the last minute unloads it to Grant. What a move. Got around McCourty. And then bumps bodies, but Gilmore goes out of bounds after a first down. The fumble, by the way, was the first Brady fumble lost in 9 games versus Jacksonville regular and post.
Wow.
Look at that move.
I mean, that looks like Alvin Kamara from the Saints. You know, you get him moving one way at their direction, and then boom, you go right back the other. And tell you what, if he keeps doing this like he has today, you just keep throwing the ball, even in man coverage. Like, just kind of make your guy miss. It makes all of us look better as coaches and players.
Yeldon turns it upfield, turns around, and goes for about 4. You're talking about momentum. Maybe it shifted back, but one thing, when you have this lead like Jacksonville does, this is a big spot, too, where you miss Fournette. When you're trying to do things on the ground and you've got the lead.
It's true. This is where you want them right here. You can just pound the rock and feel like you're going to get first downs. New England's going to line up and not let you just run it there. They're going to outnumber you. They're going to put people all down their line of scrimmage. You see it right here. There's one guy back in the middle. There's 9 guys around the box right there.
On a 2nd and 6. Over to Yeldon. Van Noy hand on him. And then Gilmore comes up to close and hold it to 2 inside 11 minutes. Third down coming. Nathaniel Hackett, their offensive coordinator, son of Paul Hackett, longtime coach. What is he drawn up for this crucial play? 3rd and 5. Bortles stepping away from the heat.
He's got to run.
Going to take him on. Helmets collide, and he's a yard short. It's going to be 4th and 1. Now what do you do?
I don't know. Do you be aggressive or do you punt? If I know Doug Marrone, he ain't going down.
Look, they said all week long, we learned from the AFC Championship game, we got to stay aggressive.
Yeah, you got to go for it here. I mean, you got the Patriots on the ropes. Everyone's going to second guess it, but all offseason it was about being aggressive, right?
It's just tougher again without Fournette, the big back, but they're going to go for it. Offense is on the field.
Now you got to take a timeout. Take a timeout. Calm down, everybody on the field. Coach has got it.
You know, some might have said as things were switching, are they going conservative? You know, once New England had the possession last time, they'd only run it one time in this half before this drive.
They haven't gone conservative at all. There's nothing conservative about what Jacksonville has done today at any point. They've called a great game. They're in position to win. This is a monster play. Everyone knows it. Here's the one thing I'm concerned about. New England is fantastic at knowing what you want to do in these situations. They will take whatever it is you're consistently doing. They're going to compress the defensive line, make them all get in there tight, and say, "You still want to run that? Are you sure?" And you have to decide whether you want to run a play you can get a yard or be really aggressive, play action, bootleg to the flat. It'll be open if they play action to the flat. If you run it, it's 50-50.
4th and less than 1. Bohannon, the fullback, Yeldon, the running back.
Oh, they're trying to draw him off sides. That's a penalty.
Number 40, offense. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Called on the fullback, Bohannon.
They were never going to run a play. All those quick movements are to try and get them to draw them off sides. Now you punt it. Now it's not even a decision. Punt it.
Logan Cook had a punt in the first half that was down inside the 10, and now the rookie from Mississippi State would like to do that one more time. There is no one back deep for New England. No one. End over end. Hits it to 5 again. This kid's done it twice. And Grant, who's had a big role in this game, is there to field it near the 9, 39-yard punt.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the NFL. Domino's. Order online at Domino's.com. And by NFL Sunday Ticket on DirecTV.
11 down and starting at the 9. Brady and company go ground. Michelle, maybe 2. That strip sack from the previous series was so huge because a field goal would have trimmed it to just a 1-score game. But Fowler did it all, including the recovery.
Well, you see, they're keeping Fowler in the game. Pass rush specialist for sure for them. That means they're expecting Brady at some point, even if they're in I formation personnel, to spread out. They're going to keep their pass rushers on the field. Campbell's in and out and banged up a little today.
Yep, bad knee, poked in the eye, 2nd and 9. Brady's pass to White. On him right away is Jalen Ramsey. Ramsey, who will tell you, I don't play nice out on the field. He even said he would tackle his grandmother if she was lined up against him. Which
seems a little aggressive.
He said she would understand the spirit of football.
He loves to play ball. He loves to compete. Well, Oh, this looks right now, it looks like Gronkowski's by himself with Gibson at top. Someone's got to run over there, don't they?
Need to get to the 19 for a first. Brady's pass to White, and did he get there? This is going to be a huge spot. Oh, they put it right on the number.
That's a first down right there.
That is an interesting spot. Check it out. Did he get to the line? Did he get to the 19?
Can't tell from that angle.
Do you challenge it?
I would challenge it. I mean, it's a possession. They have to punt if they don't have it. To me, it's 100% worth it.
It's going to let him confirm with the chain gang that it's a first down, and then he's ready to toss it. So you always do. They bring it in from the other side, the far side. Did it look about right to you, or just a fraction generous? That says first down, and now Marrone goes underhand with the toss, and they're going to be looking at this one over and over again.
We had one angle that was pretty close, so you could see where he was landing.
Jacksonville is challenging the ruling on the field of a first down. We'll review the play.
James White reaching for the first down. Where did he go out? We'll review it. While we were away, Carl Cheffers informed us that the challenge has been won by the Jaguars. They say that he was short of the 19, the right knee down at about that point. They've brought Brian Allen out, but they're still measuring on the far side. And about the length of a football short. So they had to do the old stitching, a couple of replays to try to figure out from different angles when the right knee was down and where the ball was at that time. We were in communication with Gene Steratore, our head official, back in the studio during the break, and he said at first glance it felt like it was going to be short, and then once he saw the stitching, this is pretty much where Gene thought that they would end up marking the ball.
So you see right here, though, just a unique thing. The Jaguars have their regular defense, so they don't have their punt team on it. They're getting ready for something here right up front. Now, most likely the Pats are going to punt this, but good job by the Jags to be prepared for something. He almost threw it. The ref up top almost threw it. He wanted to, but he couldn't grab it.
And they do boot it away. Mickens is back deep, and he's backtracking to the 24. Waits for a moment, takes off. Up to the 40. J-Don Mickens, second-year man out of Washington. After a 59-yard punt, 17-yard run back.
He wanted the penalty. Belichick knows. Watch the top of the screen. You can see him right here. Let's see. Bam, he jumps. Oh, I'm going to grab it. I'm going to blow the whistle. I don't want to. I'm too late. I can't do anything. I don't want to. Don't look at me. And Belichick's telling him right now, if the guy goes offsides, you touch him. We practice this over and over and over again. You just touch him. He jumps offsides. I promise you, he's telling him right there. Come on now, we've done this 1,000 times.
You touch him, and they would have had a first down. So now, still throwing. Anything but conservative. Jacksonville crosses midfield. Westbrook still in bounds. Got a blocker up ahead. It's Cole. He's racing down the sideline for the touchdown.
What a call what a throw, what a play. Big time play here by Westbrook, but I want you to watch Grant not block him in the back right here. He's going to go by him. Don't block him. Let him go. And then Cole on the sideline with a big block to seal. Total team effort there. Great call by Nathaniel Hackett, who has literally called a perfect game. This good.
That's 61 yards. TD Westbrook. And a flag out as it goes through the uprights. What a turn of events. The original placement that looked like it was enough for a first down. The challenge won by Marrone, and then what could have been a freebie for the Patriots when the Jags jumped, when he wasn't touched. And then after all of that, a deflating, if you're New England, 61-yard catch and run for a touchdown.
And there he is, the coordinator. You're 100%. The momentum shifts in this second half, going back and forth big time. It's been really fun to watch.
Leverage on the defense. 15 yards will be added on the kickoff. Number 91.
Right there, the former Biletnikoff Award winner for the college top receiver when he was at Oklahoma, Westbrook.
Westbrook coming all the way across the field, but watch right here, the running back. Don't block him. Everybody else blocks him. They're really smart. And Cole out in front seals him. I'm telling you, that block that Grant didn't make in the back right there.
Would have wiped it out.
And everybody makes that because they're like, oh, I have to do something. I'm right here. I'm going to get in trouble if I don't block. I don't want to watch it on film on Monday, but not blocking, intelligent there. And look at that incredible dance. That looks like you, Jim.
Yeah, I got those moves.
Way to go, Blake. You played great today.
His fourth touchdown pass. He's now up to 350 yards passing.
By the way, are you really worried about New England the rest of the year now?
Hey, you've seen this before, that kick from the 50, where New England, that first month of the season,
I'm
like
not
last
worried.
year was 2-2, but they try to figure out the makeup of their team.
They're going to be fine, and they're going to figure this out. They're going to see their weaknesses. They're going to adjust, and that guy right there, he ain't going away. You know, this could have big-time ramifications for home field as this plays out down the road. No one wants to talk about it. It's week 2, blah,
I know.
blah. But
it's a reality. You're talking about the finalists last year in the conference. And now, you know, if you're Jacksonville, you've got the game advantage this early, plus the head-to-head, if it ever factors in all those months down the road. Burkhead, who we haven't seen since the early stages of this game, the first series, hops ahead for 2.
New England does have to do so. Edelman's out till week 4. They're going to be okay when he comes back. It's going to open up the playbook. I'd love for them. You know, they tried getting, Corey Coleman this week. They need some little help on the outside sometimes, but they just need it today desperately.
Burkhead goes out of bounds after picking up the first. Well, to your point, the Patriot wide receivers in this game have only 38 receiving yards.
I mean, it's one of the best plans you'll see go against Rob Gronkowski. It's a simple defense, but it's not. It's a brilliantly simple. They adjust subtly with a player helping here. I mean, you saw the middle linebacker run back and take the middle of the field, and the safety go and double him. I mean, stuff you don't see. It's really unique, and Todd Wash deserves a lot of credit. Doug Marrone is an outstanding football coach and deserves a lot of credit.
Pick up of 2 on that play.
We talked about it after talking with these guys. Doug Marrone is a perfect fit for this football team, for these coordinators. He's hired a staff that is outstanding, and they are underappreciated. Right now across the league, everyone should know, this is one of the top staffs in the National Football League. I'm impressed every single time I come here and talk to these guys.
So you're talking about Todd Wash. You've already said he's going to be the next great head coach. Hackett on the offensive side. Second and 8. As Brady flings it for the first down to the 42 to Dorsett. And there's another guy, too, that's not on the coaching staff, but he oversees things, and that would be Tom Coughlin. You know that he's such a valuable part of what they're doing here as well. And he knows how to beat the Patriots twice in the Super Bowl.
It really is. strange how much success he's had. And, you know, you got to get pressure on Brady. They've always been able to do that. 4 guys, you don't pressure them. You don't blitz 5, 6. They don't ever do that. Ball control offense, and you be great on 3rd down. Seems simple, doesn't it?
That's all it is. From the 41, behind them, they get to him. It's Hayden. The corner blitz.
They finally pressure him. And it was almost like, whoa, they pressured. New England's taking shots downfield. Doesn't have anybody really on a short route here, but
slides off Burkhead and gets to the quarterback.
So if you watch right here, it's like, where are you going to go with this ball? I mean, where are you going?
Here's Campbell. Been in and out in the second half.
But there's a guy 5 yards from there waiting on that throw. The safety was inside the middle. Just tough day.
Both sacks by Saxonville coming in the 4th quarter. Quickly to Patterson. Blockers up ahead. And Cordero has a first down. Big gainer for about 18.
I really thought we'd see a few more of those today. Kind of get that pass rush calming down. So you want to come after us with everything you got. We're going to get the ball out outside. You know, it's the same as a toss, but you got people out there blocking. I think you're seeing how important Trey Flowers is to that defense as well. He's a one-man wrecking crew up there on the D-line. Without him, they did not get pressure on Bortles today.
Bortles not sacked once. Brady setting it up, and it's over the head of Patterson as the Jags were everywhere in the area. Miles Jack, there are billboards around town that have to do with that play last year where he made the recovery and he got to his feet, looked like he was taking off. The Miles Jack wasn't down motto. That's a big one. The fan base fired up about it all week. They had it on a sign with a plane flying overhead about noon today. Got it on the billboard, musical lyrics, everything. Now we're down to 3:48 to go. Brady zips it. Got his man at the 20. It's Hogan. Gronkowski there to throw a block, and Hogan has his 2nd touchdown of the game. This one from 29 yards out.
Well, this is just outstanding. I mean, wish people knew this. This is the exact same thing they ran earlier. He's going to motion, and last time he tried to throw and he threw it away. So if you watch him motion, here comes Patterson. He's going to fake it, and you're going to see Hogan go right here and watch the whole defense be like, oh, we just saw this. They're going to throw it to him again. Nope. I mean, that was literally the next play. And Brady sniffed that out and was like, run it again to Josh. And I'm just going to throw it to this guy. That was well done.
There's Gostkowski bringing it back to 11. 31-20 with 3:40 to go. Patriots have all 3 timeouts.
I mean, it's still over, right? Right?
No, not yet.
No?
You're putting it away?
I thought we put it away at 31-13, but
you know better than that.
Is it ever over?
You know better than that.
Is it ever? There's going to be some onside kick. The tip kind of comes up.
You were down by 11 with
leverage. Number 93, defense, 15 yards, will be assessed on the kickoff.
Well, that's a big one right there. That's a
comes-
big one right there.
Here comes another.
Yeah, it's going to, again, bring the
Pooch
kick
kick.
to the 50. By the way, next Sunday, CBS Super Bowl season continues. Regional action. Denver, Baltimore, Oakland, Miami. Buffalo will travel to Minnesota. Cincy and Carolina, Tennessee and Jacksonville. All this regional action. And some will get the battle in the City of Angels. Chargers taking on the Rams. It all gets started with the NFL today at 12 Eastern on CBS. The home of Super Bowl 53.
This is a big decision. So now you can kick an onside, and you're still pinning them back a little bit. So you're not giving them the ball at the 40-yard line here, Jim. If you onside it from the 50 and they get it, 40, 35-yard line. Or with one guy back, Jacksonville has to play for the onside. You could pooch this to the 10, and that guy has no chance to get more than 5 to 8 yards. You know, you pooch this to the 6-5 yard line. I love that right here. Just a little pooch right to the 5.
There it is. And it's fielded by Chark. And the rookie's not going to take any risks. Falls to the ground at about the 16. Bortles Day, how would you define it?
I mean, the best I've ever seen him play. It was outstanding from the beginning. I mean, he made one poor decision all day. And his accuracy is the thing I was looking for. Just out in front of these crossers, throws it to his back, out in front. The nondescript plays, and then the high jumps. All of them are perfect.
All that perfect landing. And still got work to do with 3:37 to go. That's a backwards pass. Ooh. That's dangerous. And Westbrook gets wrestled down.
Timeout New England. Now it's tough. I mean, I know we want to be aggressive, but when you lose 5 yards on first down, 6 yards, it's kind of tough to stay aggressive when the defense can really pin their ears back and come up with something unique here. They don't have to respect the run. They don't mind giving up 5 in the run game here.
But lost 6. That's the Patriots' first timeout. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and a look inside the American laboratory where our future is being invented, followed by a new Big Brother and back-to-back NCIS Los Angeles tonight on CBS, all the way back at the 10-yard line. Bortles again, looking up top.
He's open.
Lofts it. Wide open. It's caught by Niles Paul, their third-team tight end. The former Redskin was left alone.
I mean, Nathaniel Hackett. He didn't change the literally perfect play calling game because he kept that going right there. That was outstanding.
And again, into that secondary, no Patrick Chung.
Look at how open he is.
Also concussed and out earlier. It's shocking how open he was.
No one plays this aggressive. This is how the Patriots play against everybody else. Jacksonville's given them the exact same treatment they give everyone else normally.
9th different receiver to catch a ball today for Jacksonville. That's a handoff, and that's to Brandon Wilds.
That's exactly right. Now you hand the ball off.
Timeout called by New England, leaving the Patriots with 1. As the coach looks up and starts doing the calculation on the time management, what he can do with it. Got 1 timeout, got the 2-minute stoppage, and he's down 2 scores.
So coming into this game, the key on defense, you know, for Jacksonville, limit Gronk and limit James White. They cannot beat you. If you come out of this game and one has 7 for 100 or something like that, you did a poor job with your game planning. And today, we shut both those guys down. Staying aggressive again.
Look at this, going all the way down the field, and it could have been caught. That was Moncrief, who was dinged earlier in this half on a play where it was close to being an important catch.
Oh, he's like going away from it. Ooh. Well, if people wanted aggressive and they yelled at him, they got the most aggressive that you're going to find of any play calling of any game.
Well, now you save New England a timeout on that spot, and you got 3:07 to go. 3rd and 9.
You're going to see some crossers across the middle and one guy over the middle about 12 yards.
Bortles looking, taken off, and gets the first.
I think that'll do it. I think that one's going to make it close now. Watch Bortles. Here they come. Bortles scrambles outside. And tough call right there. You know, you're asking McCourty, 30, to like, do you go get the quarterback and leave your guy? Do you not?
Well, that one.
That's the old line again, though,
yep.
Jim. It's the whole day. I mean, one guy's played from a very clean pocket. The other one's had to make decisions under duress. It's over time that it's going to play out that way consistently. And Bortles making great decisions. could have thrown that early. He felt rushed and then decided to keep it, and big time rush for a first down.
Dietrich Wise helped to the sideline for New England.
That's not good. Usually that means there's a finger pointing somewhere weird. Dislocated. I mean, they're hiding it. You run the ball every play from here on out.
Even 52.
3 tight ends.
Down. 5. Hold on. Let's let the play clock run down here. Okay, but 52.
Wilds, who was just signed yesterday, is the man they're going to likely entrust
Here we
with
go.
the
Let's go to
football.
52. Down. Green 80.
Lined up behind Bortles. And here he is.
Oh, the ball came out.
That's why I happen to mention signed yesterday and entrust.
By the way, this is where you're like, get him out of the game. Get him out. That's where Doug Marrone's like, get him out.
Two minutes to go. Jacksonville trying to beat New England for the first time ever in the regular season, and just 2 minutes remain from doing that.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light, enjoyed by Giant Blue fictional knights everywhere.
Bud Knight having a big day in Jacksonville in a little sunscreen, but the knight in shining armor is number 5. This is got to be the game of his career to this point in his 5th season, carrying on with the confidence gained in the postseason last year. With a 4-touchdown performance, 372 yards, another 36 on the ground. Grant changing direction
and protecting the ball. He's been outstanding today as well. Just one cut, making people miss, showing off that ability that I don't think the rest of the National Football League knew.
New England has a timeout. They elect to let the clock run down with minute 15 to go.
Well, Jacksonville is going to use a timeout.
Timeout. Jacksonville, a 30-second timeout.
New England will travel to Detroit next week for a Monday game against their former defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia, their play caller now. Brian Flores at New England. They'll be running into the guy who was a part of the system here for a long time in 8 days' time. Miami's 2-0. Win today at the Jets, beating Tennessee at home week 1. Impressive win by Indianapolis today over Washington, and Kansas City is going to get a lot of buzz off of these two performances, and especially what Patrick Mahomes has done to light up the scoreboard. 3rd and 3. Over to Grant. And Grant's got the first down, splitting the defenders, and this game is over.
This is, watch Bortles and the calmness. He's going to drop back, but he knows he's got a guy coming free, but just got to keep coming, and then he just throws it to the back. The most poised I've ever seen him play a football game, the most accurate, the great understanding of his offense.
We've got bonus coverage coming up with the Raiders and Broncos at 19-17. A minute to go in that AFC West rivalry. One kneel down, and Jacksonville is going to do something it's never done before, and that's beat New England in the regular season. They beat them one time years ago in a wild card game, but Doug Marrone is building something special here in Northeast Florida.
I don't think they're building anymore. I think it's built.
It's here.
It's here, and I'm telling you, I think you're going to see this rematch right here. These two teams in the AFC title game again back here, and it's going to be a monster.
Both of the Super Bowl teams of a year ago lost today, Philly and New England. Jacksonville takes it.